Welcome to another episode of my channel. I am your host man. Yes, that's right. Hong Kong's CK Hutchison Group has called a halt to the selling of the 43 ports worldwide to a group led by the US BlackRock Group. As reported by Hong Kong TVB today on March 28, 2025, CK Hutchison is not going to sign any sale agreement as planned. The deal involved the selling of management rights of those ports with a total value of $23 billion involving 43 ports worldwide, including ports at Panama Canal, Suez Canal and ports at other strategic locations in different parts of the world, as already reported in a previous episode of my channel. Even though CK Hutchison claimed it is purely a commercial deal, as soon as the sale was announced, Donald Trump and his administration immediately claimed victory on his part and that he would send military to Panama. The fact that at the age of 97, as a seasoned businessman, Hong Kong's richest tycoon, knowing full well such a deal requires Hong Kong government or Chinese government approval, Mr. Li Ka-shing still chose to announce the deal without consulting and seeking the Hong Kong government's prior approval, reportedly risking hefty penalty should the Hong Kong and Chinese government disapprove the sale, is a decision beyond bewildering. This isn't just a business deal, it's a test of China's authority. This episode will go through all these with you. Before I go further, we need your support to continue bringing you the latest news, analysis, and life information. Please give us your support, smash the like button, comment, share and subscribe to all. In 2023 I wrote a book called China 2023, The Epic of Global Dominance, about China achieving global dominance in 2023. That's right, China already achieved global dominance. It already happened. My book is an unbiased analysis of how it happened, the history of China's re-emergence in the short span of the past 40 years. My book also predicted China's rapid high-tech revolution, Russia winning the Ukraine war, the splitting of the world into two camps of the global south and the west. The goal of China is to bring prosperity and harmony to the world. All my predictions have become reality. This power shift has deep and far-reaching impacts on the future of humanity. Please click the links below to view my book and purchase. We need your support to continue. Back to the subject of today's episode. First of all, let me walk you through how China's legal system could address such a politically and financially high-stakes scenario. There are four realistic approaches. 1. Targeting BlackRock directly. If BlackRock has ever supported U.S. sanctions against China or if its parent company Blackstone is on China's unreliable entities list, Beijing could freeze its Chinese bank accounts including those in Hong Kong, ban executives involved in the deal from entering China, revoke BlackRock's licenses to operate in Chinese ports. 2. National Security Review. A secretive government panel would assess risks like data leaks. These ports handle 2.3 million shipping records daily. Supply chain control. 18 ports are vital to China's Belt and Road Initiative. Military risks. 70% of South China Sea fuel shipments rely on these hubs. Crucially, China's laws allow retroactive cancellation even if the deal is already done. 3. Financial and market tools. Antitrust action. BlackRock's $9 trillion global portfolio could be deemed market dominance. Land audits, checking if port leases on state-owned coastal land were properly granted. Currency controls, scrutinizing any transfer over $50 million. 4. Diplomatic pressure. China might preempt U.S. backlash by citing WTO rules allowing national security exceptions, preparing for international arbitration using precedents like Huawei's legal battles, releasing white papers showing the port's military significance. In recent years, geopolitical tensions between China and Western nations, particularly the United States and its allies, have escalated over issues ranging from trade imbalances to human rights concerns. As Western countries increasingly deploy unilateral sanctions as a tool of economic and political pressure, China has responded by fortifying its legal defenses. The Anti-Foreign Sanction Law, AFSL, enacted on June 10, 2021, represents a pivotal component of China's strategy to counteract extraterritorial sanctions and assert its sovereignty. In March 2025, in the heat of the port sale deal, China took a major step by issuing new rules to enforce its anti-foreign sanctions law. These regulations aren't just paperwork, they're part of a layered defense system. Imagine three shields. 1. The government can freeze assets or ban visas of foreign entities that harm Chinese interests. 2. Chinese companies can sue those who comply with foreign sanctions. 3. And most powerful, China now claims legal authority over foreign actors worldwide if their actions threaten national security. But this isn't standalone. It works with other laws. The national security law classifies ports as critical infrastructure. Foreign investment rules require security reviews for sensitive deals. Data laws control logistics information flowing through these ports. Even in Hong Kong, where CK Hutchison is based, the national security law allows mainland authorities to intervene if local courts can't handle threats to national interests. The AFSL was introduced to establish a formal legal framework for China to retaliate against foreign sanctions perceived as hostile or discriminatory. It empowers Chinese authorities to impose countermeasures on individuals, entities, and their affiliated organizations involved in formulating, implementing, or supporting sanctions targeting Chinese citizens, companies, or national interests. The AFSL prohibits Chinese citizens, companies, and organizations from complying with foreign sanctions deemed discriminatory. This blocking statute aims to neutralize the extraterritorial reach of laws like the U.S. Magnitsky Act or Hong Kong Autonomy Act, which target Chinese officials over human rights allegations. Chinese entities or individuals harmed by foreign sanctions may sue perpetrators in Chinese courts to seek compensation. This provision creates a deterrent by exposing foreign entities to litigation risks in China. The law emphasizes reciprocity, allowing China to respond proportionally to foreign actions. For example, if a foreign government sanctions Chinese officials, China may impose equivalent restrictions on that country's diplomats, businesses, or lawmakers. By freezing assets, restricting market access, and blacklisting foreign politicians, think tanks, or companies, China raises the financial and reputational stakes for those advocating sanctions. For instance, after the U.S. sanctioned Chinese officials over Xinjiang in 2021, China retaliated by banning several U.S. individuals and entities, including former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo and the Congressional Executive Commission on China. The AFSL's prohibition on complying with foreign sanctions shields Chinese firms from being forced to choose between violating U.S. laws and facing penalties or losing access to China's market. In 2021, Chinese regulators warned foreign corporations like Nike and H&M to avoid groundless accusations about Xinjiang cotton or risk consumer boycotts and legal repercussions. China's vast consumer market and role in global supply chains give it significant leverage. By threatening counter-sanctions, Beijing pressures multinational corporations to lobby their governments against imposing restrictions. For example, German automakers reliant on Chinese sales have openly opposed EU sanctions on China. The AFSL signals that China will no longer passively accept unilateral sanctions. By codifying countermeasures into law, Beijing aims to dissuade Western lawmakers from pursuing further sanctions, knowing China can retaliate swiftly and systematically. China frames Western sanctions as illegitimate interference in its internal affairs. The AFSL reinforces this narrative by positioning China as a defender of international law and multilateralism, contrasting with the U.S. long-arm jurisdiction. The AFSL is a geopolitical game-changer. China's anti-foreign sanction law marks a paradigm shift in its approach to international disputes. By institutionalizing counter-sanctions, Beijing has fortified its ability to resist Western pressure and assert its vision of a multipolar world order. Why this port sale deal matters globally? This isn't just about ports. It's about China's Belt and Road Initiative. The maritime war just launched by Trump imposing penalty on Chinese-built ships of $1.5 million per ship entering U.S. port. It's about China's authority to its own corporates and to the world, setting a precedent developing nations can use legal tools not just force to stop foreign takeovers of strategic assets. China could create a playbook for resisting what some call economic colonization through corporate acquisitions. This case is a turning point. By using laws rather than brute force, China aims to prove that national security and global business can coexist, but only if the rules are written with sovereignty in mind. Despite calling a halt to the deal, the serious and irreversible damages done to CK Hutchison Group and Mr. Li Ka-shing's reputation are already done. We'll continue to report how this deal progresses. Thank you for watching. We need your support to continue bringing you the latest news, analysis, and life information. Please give us your support, smash the like button, comment, share and subscribe to all. Click on the links below to view and purchase my book. Thank you for your support.